if you're interested in flipping jet skis, boats, motorcycles, lawnmowers, tractors, anything like that, I think this video is going to be interesting to you. I am going to look for, I sold a jet ski the other day. I've got some extra money, and so I want to invest in buying a jet ski, fixing it up, and selling it, making money off of it. You've probably noticed this video is 35 minutes long. If you want a condensed version of this video, go ahead and click off of it right now and go find the one that is shorter. But this one is going to give you detail of how I am placing this on Marketplace and selling it in great detail. And so I'm gonna take you on the journey of looking for one and finding one, going and picking it up. So we're gonna do the whole thing, all the way through, getting it running, getting it on the lake, testing it out, and then selling it. And so I'm gonna look for one. I know that I think I want a Genesis, a Polaris direct injection Genesis, because that's the easiest, to me, the easiest ones to work on. So, and I'll tell you why later on. I'm on Marketplace, I'm looking for them, and what I do is in the search bar on Marketplace, I will type in exactly what I want, what I'm looking for. In this case, it is a Polaris Genesis direct injection. So I'm going to type that in and see if there's any out there. And so when I do that, we'll see what pops up when I type that in and do the search on it. Okay, so here's the first one. It is a pretty bad looking. It's a bad looking ski. The guy's asking $685 for it. It's got a lot of missing parts. It's nasty looking. Been sitting out in the weather a long time. I have no doubt the crankcase is probably full of water. Everything's rusted up. This ski's never going to run. This ski will never be put on the water. It is at best a parts ski, but there's probably not a lot of parts that are still any good on this ski. Maybe a few, but no trailer, just the ski. $685, way too much money for this ski. I could use some parts off of it. I know I could, but I think we can find a ski in better shape than this for a lot less money, or for a little less money and a whole lot better shape. So we're going to keep looking. Okay, here's another one, and I'm pretty sure it's the same owner. This must be a like a marina or somewhere that repairs boats and jet skis, and they gave up on these two. This one is $1,250. It's in much better shape than the last one we looked at, but it's still not in the greatest of shape. It's got an injector missing off of it, which I'll put the pictures up. If you look in the very top, you can see that little black thing with a white square thing in it. That's the missing injector. But the housing that goes around the injector, the mounting plates, I don't see it anywhere in the picture. I can't find it. So this one has a lot of good parts on it. This ski, if you put a lot of effort into it, might run. I don't know. But to me, this one is kind of too far gone to use as a rebuild ski, which is what I'm looking for. But this would be a good part ski. The problem is $1,250 is absolutely insane. This thing running and in good shape probably would only sell for $1,800 to $2,000, $2,200. So there's no money. There's no money to be made on this one for sure. So let's try to find another one. Okay, here's one, $500. All the pictures look good on it. It looks like it's in very good shape. Looks like everything is intact. Everything's in there except for there's one thing that I can't find exactly, and that is one of the 3 or 4 inch exhaust hoses on the very back. I'm not seeing that. Maybe one's unhooked, that's not hooked up right. I don't know. But the inside of this ski looks immaculate for its age, and it looks like it's not been rode a lot. Something went wrong with it. I have no idea what, but that put it out of commission. But it's still in good shape, and it is on a trailer. So to me, $500 is worth it to get this one. I don't think a lot of work has to be done to get this one on the water, get it running, get it sold. So this one I'm going after. And so once we get it home, if I can buy it, somebody might have already bought it, but I'm going to send a message to the guy, and we'll see what transpires. It is time for another jet ski. I'm on my way to pick up a Polaris Genesis 2002 model direct injection. This will be ski number 7, I think, in a year and a half. So I'm 5 minutes away, pulled over here. I'm a little early, so give the guy a little bit of time. And so I thought about this. Why am I choosing Genesis over Virage, and why am I choosing Polaris over other skis? And the reason why the first Virage that I got, or the first Polaris I got, period, was a Virage, and it was a good deal, and I bought it. I really didn't know anything about them. I didn't know anything different between them and a Sea-Doo and a Yamaha, but I got that ski and I learned a little bit about it. And then the next one that I got was a Virage, and I learned more about it after fixing it up. And then the Genesis, I think, was the third one that I got, and it seemed like it was easier to work on. I just enjoy Genesis more, so that's what I'm going to pick up. I have no idea. The pictures always look better on Marketplace than when you get there. But I tried to be diligent and look at the pictures good, and it looks like this ski is pretty much complete. I couldn't find one of the big 3 or 4 inch exhaust hoses on the very back. It looked like it was missing that, but everything else looked like it was there and hadn't been taken apart. So and the ski looked decent from the pictures. So getting it for $500 on a trailer. So the trailer's a bass boat trailer, but I think I can take the ski off, fix the bass boat trailer, sell it for probably what I have in the ski. So $500, and kind of a long drive, but it is what it is. So anyway, I'll show you pictures later. That's redneck. Real redneck. But no lights. What can I do? Well, after a 4-hour drive with no trailer lights, no safety chain, nothing on the trailer, made it home and only got pulled over one time 4 miles from the house, and he gave me a warning, but my headlamp had went out, which is not legal anyway. But anyway, so yeah, the ski looks good. I took a little bit more time and didn't video it when I was at the man's house to buy it, but it is in very good condition. The display probably don't work, but seats are not that great condition, but not horrible. I may have a seat to go on it. If not, I'll recover it. But the engine, I'll get the engine. I'll show you the engine compartment in a minute. It looks very clean inside. Real clean inside. It looks like, if you see this mat right here is not wore down any on either side, which tells me that it don't have many hours on it of ride time at all. I would really be surprised if this thing had 100 hours on it. And so the engine compartment is spotless inside. I went ahead and secured the fuel pressure regulator, and still got no crank. I couldn't get it to crank other than jump the solenoid off. And so I traced it down to the MFI display was bad. I happen to have another one from another ski left over. Put it on it, and I got it to turn over. And so I did a compression test on it and have cranked it 2 or 3 times. So the crankcase has a lot of oil in the bottom of it. I'm gonna run it periodically before I put it on the water and just run all the oil out of the crankcase. It should be, I don't know, an hour or 2 of work, and I'll have this one on the water running good. So sorry about that last video. All that wind was very annoying, I'm sure. So I figured I'd get out of the wind and at a later date go over some of the things that I did to get it running. First off, foremost, fresh battery, definitely. Make sure you got a good fresh battery. And so put one of those in. So now I know I have power going to the solenoid. When I mashed the start button, I was not getting any 12-volt signal to the solenoid for it to operate and send energy to the starter. So I checked out the button itself, and I had continuity in the button, so I knew it wasn't the button. And so on those direct injection skis, the energy coming from the battery goes through an LR503 module that is actually under the display inside. I guess you got to pop the hood, take a plastic piece out, and it's behind that little black module that's hooked to the wiring harness. And so that is called the start-stop module, and it also supplies energy to the bilge pump. And so I put a known good one in it, and that didn't change anything. So then I was left with the display, the MFI display. I had one in my garage. I put one in it, and then I got it to turn over. I got the engine to turn. So that one happened to be the display did not work, and it wouldn't letting the start button even send any energy to the solenoid for the engine to crank. So I got that diagnosed, got that working. So the next step would be a compression test. I did a compression test. It tested good. And then I tested the coil or the stator to make sure that it was producing what it needed to. And it did. Now, I could have just looked at the spark plugs. If they spark, then, let it go. That would be good enough. But I do like to know how much energy the coil or stator is producing. Even sometimes you can have one that works but not good, and you'll have a weak spark. So I didn't want that. So I tested all of that. Everything checked out good. So I knew that with compression, with spark, all it needed was fuel. After that, fuel pump was working, pressure regulator was working, so I knew it would run. And so the next step was cleaning out the crankcase. of all the oil. I think somebody just purposely filled it up with oil so it wouldn't rust, which was a good thing. I'm thankful that they did that. Crankcase is in good shape now because they did that. I just had to pump the oil out of it. Took one of the plugs out and fired it a few times just to push all the oil out I could, and it started running. So next steps, take it on the water. She is ready to go to the lake, but it is raining, so unfortunately, I gotta wait. Still raining. 3 days later, and it's still raining. I want to get the thing on the water so bad I can't stand it, but you have the luxury of watching a video, and I promise you the next clip that you see is going to be me on the water on that thing. But some precautions before you actually take it to the water. And that is, while it is in your yard on the trailer, crank it up for about 20 seconds. Cut it off, let it cool for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Crank it up again, 20 seconds. Do that several times before you take it out. That'll, if there is any problems in it cranking, electrical problems, stuff like that, they're going to show up in your yard while you're with your tools, and you can't carry all your tools probably to the lake with you. So just do that. And please crank the engine before, if you do a hose test, hook a garden hose to it, crank the engine before you turn the water hose on. I've watched so many videos and I cringe when the guy turns a hose on and then cranks the ski up later and it's hydrolocked and the crankcase is full of water. And yeah, the only reason you would really want to hook a water hose up to it is to back flush all the salt water out after saltwater riding. So that's an exception to the rule. But always check before you get it on the water, check the inlet. Mine's got a grate. Different things have different skis have different ways of bringing in the water, but they'll have a screen. Check that, make sure there's no debris, stuff that would hinder water from getting into it from the jet pump. And then always check the outlet wherever the water exits the ski. A lot of times these little mud daubers, dirt daubers, mud wasps, whatever you call them, wherever you're at, they will build little nests of clay in the end of a tube, and a lot of times they'll be clogged up and you won't know it, and you'll be on the water and it'll overheat. So check all of that. On mine, I've got a water jacket that goes into the exhaust that cools the exhaust. I pull that out, make sure that little hole's clear, the screen's clear. Those things, checking those before you actually crank it for long, put it in the water, will help eliminate a lot of problems. Then you're at the lake. Don't take it out and and go on a run before you leave it strapped on the trailer. Back it down in the water. Make sure the impeller and all the grates, all that is in underwater, and then crank it up, let it run for about 20 minutes. Check everything, make sure it don't have any leaks. Check all the hoses, loose clamps, vibration on the wiring harness, especially near the drive shaft. Check all of that before you take it out on the water and run it. That will help you. And I always take a infrared thermometer, and I'll test the engine heat. I'll let it warm up to its running temperature, and then make sure it stays that, and so maintains that for 5 or 10, 20 minutes before I ever unhook it from the trailer, push it out, and go for a ride on it. That'll help. So and I always carry paddles with me. They make those little paddles you can take apart, put it in a bag, and put it under the hood. I always do that just in case I break down out there somewhere, I can get a paddle out, paddle my way back. So tow rope, always bring that. Anyway, just stuff like that will help you not get broke down somewhere because you felt the need to take it on a test ride before it was actually ready. Backing it in. First test ride. Moment of truth. We've been running it about an hour and it is running great. I'm going to crank it up. Now that we know it runs good, we're going to clean it up, take some good pictures of it, make a good description in the listing, and then put it on Marketplace and see what we can sell it for. The last clip was Saturday. It was Saturday. I took a week vacation, came back. Today is Friday, and I have this morning I wet sanded it with 800 grit and then 1200 grit, and then buffed it out with a buffer. Cleaned it up real good. Then took it to the boat ramp, took pictures of it before I put it in for its last run before I sell it. So I'll show you some clips of the of it when I ran it. It was a little less choppy. Water was smoother today, so got a little bit of video footage for that. But I did want to show you the difference between the nasty looking ski versus the buffed out ski. And I didn't video any of that. There's so many videos out there on wet sanding them and buffing them. So, and then I did put some like tire shine on all the plastic parts and even some rubber parts. So that makes it look a lot better and will increase the resale value. Probably spent 2 or 3 hours doing the wet sanding and polishing, so it helps. It definitely helps. After the pictures, we upload this to Marketplace, and the description is very important. I'm going to read this to you. So under the title, instead of just putting jet ski, I want to make sure that, number one, it is searchable. Number two, there's a good description of what it is. So I put O2 Polaris Genesis 1200 direct injection. And then in the description, I wrote, this O2 Polaris Genesis 1200 is super clean, well taken care of, and runs flawlessly. This weekend I had a top speed of 58 miles per hour, and I'm also going to upload a picture of the speed data that's on my smartphone app that I record all my rides on, or not all of them, but when I want to see how fast one goes, because the speedometers are not accurate on those skis. And then I put, this is a 4-seater, very stable, even hitting wakes sideways, with lots of power to tow a tube or a wakeboard. Registration is good till March 2025 in Alabama. I buy non-running skis, do the necessary repairs, then sell. This ski has been completely gone through to ensure many years of reliability. It has great compression on all 3 cylinders. Fuel pump regulator has had necessary upgrade, new battery, and exhaust has been upgraded and sounds mean. Comes with a solid trailer that is wider and much easier to back than most ski trailers. I'm going to be doing upgrades to the trailer in 2 weeks, and the price will have to increase afterwards. The only problem with the ski is the electric reverse is acting up, and it idles a tad high due to exhaust upgrade, but it has more power because of it. More pictures upon request. I can meet at a local boat ramp for a test ride located in Wedowee, Alabama. Cash only in all caps. And then I always put this, I will not respond to, and I put this in quotation marks, is this still available, question mark. Send me a personable message and I'll promptly reply. And so that is the description that's on there. Again, lots of good pictures, a good description, and I try to make this, and I'm not trying to sound salesman-like, but I do want people to know, that it's a good ski, that it runs good, looks good, that I've went through all the maintenance and did all the upgrades that it needs. And so there's nothing wrong with, giving the good points to anything you post on Marketplace. You don't want to lie, of course, but you do want to make it sound like the person that is going to buy it or looking at it, you want to put the things in there that they want to hear, if it's true. And so I think that means a lot in a description. I have seen items that were worth what the person is asking for them, but they just put, ski for sale, and you're like, well, what kind is it? What year is it? What, does it run? And so they put nothing on there, and you're left with having, if you do go look at it, you're having to figure all of it out yourself, or, try to see if the guy will let you call him. So I try to put as much information on a listing as I can without them having to ask a lot of questions. If they do want to ask questions, that's fine. I don't mind it. I'll answer as many as they want to. I think that's fair. I think that's good, good business moral. The item's now on Marketplace, and now you are going to probably be bombarded with in your messenger under Marketplace, you're going to be bombarded with, is it still available? I don't answer any of them, especially if it's a vehicle. If you post a car on there, prepare for, most of it, or let me back up, some of it's spam. But I don't know why. I have heard that people just click that just to save it and then they'll come back later. But I don't have time for that. I don't have time to click on every single one of them and then respond back, yes, it is still available. I would rather put that at the end of the post, and then you get people that really want it will actually read it all. If somebody's too lazy to read the entire description, do I really want them coming to my house or meeting me at a boat ramp? They're probably not going to anyway. So this weeds out a lot of people that aren't interested at all in the ski or whatever you put on Marketplace. So I posted it Friday, and I was hoping to wake up Saturday morning with a lot of messages. That was not the case. I had very few clicks on it, and no messages at all. So that means that I priced it way too high, or not way too high, but just above what I call, I guess, the threshold. And so it's hard to know exactly where that threshold is, but if you post something too high, you're not going to get any activity at all. If you post it, let me say this, if you post it too low, you're going to get bombarded with messages. You just really never know exactly what that is unless you sell a lot of it. And so what I did was I moved it from $2,500 down to $2,200, just $200 or $300. And that, I guess, brought me down to where I needed to be, and I started getting messages. And I got a fella that offered $2,000 for it. I started not to take that. I started to just leave it on there. But my goal is to make money off of this and sell it quick, so that I can go ahead and get another ski. If I had worked on this ski for, months and put a lot of money into it, a lot of parts into it, I would not have sold it for $2,000. I would have sold it for, I would have tried to get, $2,200, $2,300, $2,400, $2,500 out of it. But I've only had it a short amount of time, and one of those weeks I was on vacation. So really, the days I have been working on it and had it has not been many at all. So I feel like I can sell it for $2,000, and I've made a good amount of money off of this one. And so the guy's coming to pick it up Friday, and it's Monday right now. I left it on there until last night at $2,500, and last night, and I didn't get any. I mean, it's all weekend. I got no response at all. But when I moved it to $2,200, I woke up this morning and I had a lot of messages. I say a lot. I had about 5 or 6 messages. People want me to send them more pictures, and 1 or 2 of them said, would you sell it for $1,500 or $1,000 or whatever? And I just said no, or no, thank you. But so this guy is traveling a good ways to get it, and so I told him everything I knew about it, and I told him, I have not had time to put trailer lights on it or safety chains, and I said, I will, and I put it on the listing that if I do work on the trailer, I'm going to ask more for it later. So he is having to, I don't like this, but he's having to haul this thing off without any lights and safety chains. I don't like that at all, but it is what it is. I may from now on, I don't know this, I may from now on, if I get a trailer without any lights, that might be the first thing I do before I even work on the ski is get the trailer legal. So I kind of regret, and I may just go out there and put lights on it, surprise him with lights and a safety chain. That would be probably the moral thing to do. So I may do that. I had to. Can you tell my voice is about gone? All right, there it goes. Sad to see sometimes. Put enough work into one. Kind of don't want to let it go, but that's the name of the game, letting it go. Nice gentleman. And the results, $2,000. So for a total investment of $680, 11 hours of elbow grease, I sold it for $2,000. So I made a profit of $1,320. I'm not including the $15 for the safety chain and the $25 light kit. I'm not including that. I just kind of, out of the kindness of my heart, I did not want him to drive to Mississippi with no safety chain and no lights. And so you guys knew I was going to do that, didn't you? So let me end with this, all right? That guy got a good deal on that ski. There is no doubt about that. I could have waited a little longer. I could have sold it for $2,200, $2,300 maybe. But that's how it goes. He got a good deal on that ski. I made good money on the ski. And I have no doubt that the guy that sold it to me probably got his money back out of it. I don't know if somebody gave it to him, somebody that was kin to him gave it to him, or he got a real good deal on it and threw it on that trailer. I really don't know how that went, but it would have. He did not have the knowledge that it took to fix that ski. And that ski would have rotted to the ground. And so what we did was we rescued a ski from the junkyard that wasn't far from running. And so everyone won in that deal. Guy that sold it to me, I'd come out good, real good. And the guy that bought it got a good deal on it. So it's a win all the way around. And somebody's going to have fun on that ski for a long time. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be putting more out. I'm going to take some of this money and we're going to pick up another ski and do it all over again.